After Blumhouse gave their own modern spin on the Universal classic monsters with Wolfman in 2025, the studio isn't stopping there. They're already gearing up for another big return to the world of ancient curses and dusty tombs, this time with a brand new remake of The Mummy. Now, this franchise has a pretty legendary history because it all kicked off back in 1932 when Universal released the original film. That first version starred horror legend Boris Karloff as Imhotep, an Egyptian prince brought back to life who sets out to find a modern woman he believes is actually the reincarnation of his lost love. Coming right after the massive success of Dracula and Frankenstein, The Mummy quickly became part of Universal's famous horror cycle. What made it stand out, though, is that unlike those other films, it wasn't adapted from a book. It was one of the studio's first original monster stories. And just like Dracula made vampires into one of horror's biggest icons, The Mummy cemented the whole wrapped-up figure as a recognizable movie monster. The film did so well that Universal produced a string of sequels through the 1940s, each one exploring the curse of the mummy in different ways. But it actually took decades before the concept was reinvented in a big way. That happened in 1999, when Universal dropped The Mummy starring Brendan Fraser, and suddenly the monster wasn't just about slow, shambling horror anymore. It became a mix of action, adventure, and supernatural scares. That version didn't just revive the monster for modern audiences, it also gave us a bunch of memorable characters and a thrilling Indiana Jones-style atmosphere that people still love to revisit. So now, fast forward to today, and Blumhouse has decided it's their turn to breathe new life into this monster. They're famous for making horror stories feel modern and scary again, which is why there's already so much buzz around this new version. At the same time, there's some real pressure on the studio, because the last time Hollywood tried to reboot The Mummy, back in 2017 with Tom Cruise, it completely flopped. That film was supposed to launch Universal's ambitious Dark Universe franchise, but instead it crashed so hard that the whole project was abandoned. So this new version really has to deliver something special if Blumhouse wants to avoid another disaster. Now here's where things get exciting. Work is officially underway on this secretive reboot, and we've got some casting news. So far, Jack Reynor and Laia Costa were already on board, but the latest updates confirm that 3 more actors are joining the lineup. Veronica Falcone, who you might know from Jungle Cruise, May Elgeti, who appeared in Zodiac, and May Kalamawe, who broke out in Marvel's Moon Knight, are all stepping into roles. The studio hasn't revealed who exactly they'll be playing, so for now it's anybody's guess whether they'll be leading characters or supporting ones. But either way, it's clear Blumhouse is putting together a diverse and talented cast, which is usually a good sign for a horror film with so much history attached to it. As for when we'll actually see this thing, Blumhouse has already locked in a release date. The new Mummy movie is officially set to hit theaters on April 17, 2026. That's a pretty quick turnaround, especially because the project was only announced in December 2024. At the time, director Lee Cronin teased audiences with a bold statement. His version would be unlike any mummy movie you ever laid eyes on before. He even promised to raise something very ancient and very frightening, which really sets the stage for a horror-first approach. If Cronin's name sounds familiar, it's because he made a splash with Evil Dead Rise in 2023, which earned him a lot of respect in horror circles. That film managed to take an already beloved franchise and push it in some chilling new directions, so it makes sense that Blumhouse tapped him for this project. Since announcing the movie, filming actually kicked off in March 2025, which shows just how fast things are moving. And because production started so quickly, most people believe Cronin will have no problem meeting that April 2026 release date. It makes sense why Universal and Blumhouse would want to bring the Mummy back. Over the years, the character has become one of the most famous monsters in cinema. From Karloff's hypnotic original performance to Fraser's action-packed adventure, the concept has proven to be incredibly flexible. The Egyptian legend of a cursed being rising from the dead is just too rich for filmmakers to ignore, and audiences keep coming back for more takes on it. Now let's dig a bit into the cast. Even though the studio hasn't revealed much, we do know that Jack Reynor has been tapped as the leading man. He's best known for his unsettling role in Midsommar, so he's already proven he can handle eerie atmospheric storytelling. In this new version of The Mummy, Rayner will apparently play a husband and father who runs afoul of supernaturally sinister forces. That's all the detail we've been given, but it suggests a more personal, grounded kind of horror. Instead of focusing on a swashbuckling adventurer like Brendan Fraser's Rick O'Connell, this story might center on an ordinary person whose family is threatened by something ancient and terrifying. Alongside Rayner, Laia Costa is also on board, along with Veronica Falcone, May El-Getty, and May Calamawy. None of their roles have been revealed yet, but given Cronin's reputation for using ensemble casts effectively, it's likely that each actor will play a significant part in the overall story. This secrecy around the characters has only fueled speculation about what kind of narrative Cronin is crafting. And speaking of the story, this is where things get even more mysterious. Despite the fact that filming is already underway, Blumhouse has kept the plot completely under wraps. All we know is that Cronin insists this Mummy will feel nothing like its predecessors. That's a bold claim because the franchise already has such a wide range of tones. The 1932 original was a tense and hypnotic thriller, while the sequels often leaned into campy horror with the Mummy as a lumbering monster. Then, in 1999, the story was reinvented as a globe-trotting action-adventure, and in 2017, it was reimagined as a flashy blockbuster attempt at universe building. With all those directions already explored, Cronin's promise of something unlike any Mummy movie before opens up a lot of possibilities. One of the most exciting ideas is that Cronin could take the franchise back to its horror roots. The 1999 film is beloved, but trying to copy it again would almost certainly fall flat, as the failed 2017 reboot already proved. Instead, Cronin has the chance to make The Mummy frightening again. Given his track record with Evil Dead Rise, he knows how to craft a story that feels both claustrophobic and terrifying, even in small-scale settings. So rather than going for a massive global adventure, this Mummy might focus on a more intimate, personal horror story where the supernatural feels close and unavoidable. That actually lines up with how Blumhouse usually operates. Their strength has always been taking horror down to a human level, whether it's haunted houses, paranormal forces, or psychological scares, and letting the audience connect to the terror in a very direct way. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.